If you are a brand new nurse and you're wondering, what the heck did I get myself into? You are not alone. I am officially celebrating 20 years as a nurse this month, and I'm about to share with you the top 10 lessons that I have learned from 20 years of nursing. So let's get into it. Lesson number one, expect to be challenged. Now, if you're a brand new nurse, you remember very clearly how freaking hard nursing school was. Am I right? I was actually talking with my friend Todd recently. He's been a nurse for a long time. And we were discussing how challenging nursing school is and how it has to be in order to prepare you for the next level. Because nursing school isn't even close to the challenges that you're going to face when you're actually at the bedside with that RN behind your name and all of that responsibility when you carry that title. So expect that nursing will be challenging. And I feel like what happens when you walk into the profession expecting that it will be challenging, you are less surprised when you're feeling challenged. Because I also think that we graduate nursing school with an expectation of like, okay, I'm a nurse now, I got this. And then when nursing puts us flat on our backside, we're like, holy crap, I don't got this. And then we start doubting ourselves. And that's the last thing I want you to do. If you made it through nursing school and you are officially hired and you're starting your first job, you deserve to be there. But I want you to expect that your career will continue to challenge you. And my friend, that does not stop. I've been a nurse for 20 years, and every day there's a new challenge, whether it's like a new blood pressure cuff setup that they've just rolled out, or a new IV cath one that they want us to try, or we're learning new communication skills at new levels. There is always a level of challenge to this profession. So, what I would love for you to adopt is a mindset of I expect challenge. And when I'm feeling challenged, it doesn't mean that I'm failing, it means that I'm growing. And get really curious about the ways that the challenges are growing you. Because, my friend, you are not failing and you are going to always feel challenged in this profession. And I feel like if I had known that and expected that when I first started, I would have been a whole lot less hard on myself and a whole lot more open to the lessons the new challenges were teaching me instead of resisting the challenge and being upset that it was hard, right? Lesson number two, stay curious. Stay curious about everything in your profession. Like, I wonder why they're behaving that way. I wonder why they're saying that thing. I wonder why this thing works better when you do it this way and not that way. Staying curious keeps you in a place of flexibility. It's when you get into the profession and you've been in 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 20 years, and you decide that this is the way things are because this is the way that things have been, is when the profession is going to humble you. Because the one thing about this profession is it's constantly changing. And when you allow yourself to stay curious, you keep yourself in a place of sort of like wonder and excitement about the profession rather than getting yourself stuck and feeling like, ugh, I hate all this change. It's so hard, right? Like difficulty is is a given. Like this profession is difficult, but the suffering that you feel because of how you approach the difficulty is the part that you can control. Suffering is optional. Difficulty is mandatory. Suffering is optional in this profession. Tip number three, prioritize yourself. And I don't mean just go get a massage or get a pedicure or get your nails done or have a facial. That's not what I mean. What I mean is honor your feelings, honor your needs, prioritize what it is that you actually desire and need from those around you, from your experience, from your profession, what you need in terms of feeling your feelings, what you need in terms of refreshing yourself and rejuvenating after long shifts. Like, prioritize yourself. And I mean on deep, deep levels. Prioritize yourself. And this is coming from a perspective of I didn't learn what prioritize myself meant until I had completely burned out and left the career. Yes, I left the profession of nursing. And thank God I've come back but I wish I had known then what I know now about what it really means to prioritize myself in meaningful ways, in ways that fill my joy cup, in ways that make me feel like I'm doing something meaningful, in ways that rejuvenate my energy. I thought that like just getting a pedicure was where it was at, but my friend, it is not. So, what are those things that really, truly fill your soul, your mind, your being, your cup of joy, your energy? Prioritize those things because that's what it really means to prioritize yourself. Tip number 4 is prioritize your personal relationships. Now, what can happen is the pursuit of the degree, the pursuit of the job, the pursuit of the next level can put the rest of your relationships in the back seat if you let them. And what I want you to hear from me more than anything is that your career is what supports the life you live. Your career is not the life you live. And if you catch yourself being full force in your career, not prioritizing your marriage, not prioritizing your children, not prioritizing your friendships, what can happen is you can be left with a very fulfilling career and a very unfulfilling life. Nursing is not who you are, it's what you do. Okay. And it's what you do in the profession that supports you living a life that you love to live. So please don't forget, prioritize yourself and prioritize your personal relationships, your friends, your family, your marriage, your children. Put those things at the very top of your list, second to your career. Remember, your career supports a life that you love to live. Number 5, take your paid time off. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I very first started nursing is I was gung-ho all in. And by the time I ended up leaving the profession, I had a ton of banked hours, banked paid time off. And guess what happened? They paid it out to me at a discounted rate. And guess what happens now? Most companies won't pay you any banked paid time that you have earned. So I highly encourage you to take your paid time off as you earn it. If you're going to save it up so that you can be gone for 2 weeks and still get paid for it. If you're going to save it up so that you can use it to only work 2 days a week instead of 3, right? Like save it up, but save it up with a purpose. Don't just let it sit there and accrue and accrue and accrue and never use it. There's a reason that your employer gives you paid time off. It's so that you can walk away from the job and enjoy doing the things that you love doing with the people that you love doing them with and still get paid for it because they recognize the sacrifice on your time, on your energy, on your emotion, on your intellect that it takes to show up for the organization and to show up for your patients. And your paid time off is like it's earned. It's not a reward. It's something that you put in the time and you earned it. So please take it off. Don't make the mistake that I did and hoard it for no absolute reason. I'm willing to bet that I would have been a lot more rejuvenated and a lot less burned out if I had chosen to honor the paid time off that I had accrued, that I had earned. Go do things that you love with people you love doing them with, okay? Number 6, burnout is not a system problem, it's a perspective problem. There is an idea running rampant through nursing that is a complete lie. And I fell for this lie, which is why I left the profession. I fell for the lie that nursing sucks and it's burning me out. Nursing was the villain of my story. If you want to know more about my story, I would encourage you to go buy my book called Shit They Don't Tell You in Nursing School. And I will tell you the stories and the emotions that led to me burning out and what I learned from that journey of bouncing back and being able to re-engage in a profession that I love in ways that fill me up instead of subtract from my life. And one of those was the complete lie that nursing is causing me to burn out. Nursing is not causing you to burn out. Your perspective of nursing is what's causing you to burn out. Burnout is a perspective problem. It is not a system problem. And my friend, that is something that like maybe I'll do an entire like Facebook Live or article on why burnout is a perspective problem and not a system problem. But as long as you get that idea in your head, like, maybe, just maybe my perspective is the problem and nursing is not the problem, it'll open the door to like, tip number two, staying curious. Get really curious about why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And what statements are you coming into agreement with? I absolutely came into agreement with the fact, I called it a fact, that nursing was burning me out, that the system was burning me out. And it wasn't. It was my perspective that was burning me out. Tip number seven, get coaching, get counseling, get therapy, whatever support that you need for your mental and emotional well being outside of your job is like 10 out of 10 important. And maybe I should have put this at the top of the list because honestly, for me, like there are things that have happened in my childhood, things that have happened in my career, things that have happened in my relationships that had left me feeling less than, uh, questioning myself, undermining my confidence, all of these things that impacted not only the way I showed up as a nurse, but the way I showed up as a wife, the way I showed up as a mother, the way I showed up as a friend, the way I showed up as a daughter, as a sister. And it took coaching, it took therapy, it took counseling to support me in digging through those stories, right? Those ineffective agreements that I had become aligned with, and to really tear down those ineffective perspectives and realign with who I truly am so that I can show up the most authentic version of myself. And I have had a coach or a counselor or a therapist almost my entire career. As a matter of fact, I have a coach right now that continues to coach me in my life because what happens is as you learn and grow, right, you grow to a certain level and you're like, man, I got this, I'm crushing it. And then a new challenge comes along and you have to use these skills, but in a new circumstance, in a new way. And it's a constant evolution. And getting coaching or counseling or therapy doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means that you don't have to do the hard things alone. And it also means that you get to quicken the learning curve of how you operate, of the stories that are going on in your mind. Like you don't have to suffer these things for a long time. Go get the support that you need. Now, I know personally several coaches. I am a coach. If this is resonating with you, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. If I can't serve you, then I probably know somebody who can and somebody that you can absolutely trust. I'll probably do another live on like what to look for when you're looking for a coach or a counselor or a therapist. Like, how do you know it's the right fit? How do you know that you're not showing up to a place that's just going to traumatize you even more? So I'll do another one on that, but I highly, highly recommend having that support in your corner. Tip number 8, grow yourself personally. Growing yourself professionally is really cool. And it's fun to see the things that you can do in your career and like where you can take that knowledge and who you can impact and in what ways. But growing yourself personally is equally important because remember, nursing is what you do, it is not who you are. So, some of the things that I've done to grow myself personally, I really, really enjoy doing art. And I've taken time to grow my art skills. I love reading. I've taken time to like dive into some coaching books, learning new techniques, learning new strategies. Like, that's just how I'm wired. I love to learn, it's one of my highest values. But dig into like, what are your highest values? And I have a great values exercise. If you need support in determining what your highest values are, let me know. I can totally share that with you for free. It's such an excellent exercise. And when you get in alignment with your values and start growing yourself personally in those high value areas, life becomes so incredibly fun and it's fulfilling, not just professionally, but personally and relationally. And you just have such a richer life experience when you step into growing yourself personally in whatever way that you're wired to grow. It's so exciting. Tip number 9, trust your gut. I cannot say that enough. Friend, God gave us this incredible gut instinct for a reason. And leaning into learning to trust that is so important. Even if I don't know what my gut is trying to tell me, when I've chosen to lean in and just go verbalize, like, hey, something doesn't feel right. I'm concerned about this patient, and here's why, it becomes very, very powerful. So you either learned a new nuance or you save a life. So there was one time in the emergency room, I took care of this patient. He had been care flighted in, he was out camping, and he had sudden severe onset chest pain, which had mostly resolved after he was given morphine on the helicopter. But he was feeling a little bit short of breath. He was still uncomfortable. He was sweating. Like, I just had that oh, I have goosebumps thinking about it. I had that spidey sense that something wasn't right. And he was saying, my left arm hurts. My left arm hurts. It hurts. It feels like it's tingling and it's numb. And I checked the blood pressure on the left arm and like I got this super weird low reading. And then I checked it on the right arm and I got a high reading. And I was like, oh my God, like I literally have no idea what any of this means, but something's wrong. So I took that gut feeling to one of the ER physicians and I said, something's really wrong. I need you to come look at this guy. Here are the things that I'm seeing. I don't know what it means, but I'm trusting that feeling in my gut. And the doctor literally jumped up. She says, oh shit, he's dissecting. And I was like, oh my God, aortic dissection. I remember learning about that in nursing school like 10 years ago. Sure enough, we took him to CAT scan. His aorta had dissected from the root of his aorta all the way up, severed the flow to his left arm and down into both of his kidneys. It had dissected that far. He had like a 20% chance of living at all from that injury. He pulled through surgery. He did absolutely freaking amazing. But it's one of those moments in my career where I was like, I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know what these symptoms mean, but I can tell you that my gut is screaming that something is wrong. Trust your gut because either you save a life or you learn something new, but don't ever be afraid to speak up when your gut is telling you something. Okay. Tip number 10, when you're doubting your decision to become a nurse, because I promise you, you will wonder, why did I spend all of this time and this money to get into this profession? Because it's challenging the heck out of you. Remember why you started. It's so important to stay connected to that true desire of what made you do the hard thing in the first place. And when you stay connected with what you showed up to this profession to give and why you decided to put the effort and the money into giving it, it will help keep you focused on the data that actually matters. Because in nursing, there's a lot of data that don't matter. And there's a lot of complaining, and you're hearing the words like burnout and moral injury just being thrown around like it's a day-to-day thing. And we do not have to stand for coming into agreements with those things about our profession. Yes, our profession is hard. Yes, there are days that you go home completely stretched past what you're capable of because you've grown a little bit. Yes, it can be exhausting, but it can also be joyful and fulfilling and wonderful and fantastic. So just remember why you started. I hope these 10 lessons from 20 years in nursing was helpful to you. And I just wish you such an incredible career. Now, remember, my door is always open. So if any of this has resonated with you, if you have questions, if you're like, I don't really know what that means for me in this season of my journey, please do not hesitate to reach out because I am here to serve you, to pour into you, to share with you what I've learned from the past and what I'm going to continue to learn as I continue to serve in this journey. Until the next perfect time, much love.